Alright guys, we've got a pretty short ending today because I have loaded the save from last bad end, and we only have one choice to make, and then we get our bad ending. So, let's find out what happens. This time I'm going to trust Guess to know what's right, which obviously is not right because it's a bad ending, but here we go. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't an expert at these things. I could only let Guess do what she thought was right, no matter how much I hated it. But I couldn't bring myself to just run away. Instead, I grabbed Mark and tried to haul his heavy butt closer to the door, while keeping an eye on what was happening. Mark and his heavy butt. Before Guess got very far, there was the sound of something breaking or shattering, or being torn apart. A path of light tore a rift in, well, everything, straight from the ceiling to the floor, and William's back. Guess hesitated only long enough to look over her shoulder and shout at me to get out.
Nora, get out of here! He's ripped a hole from our reality to the divide!
The divide? The barrier that separated our world from everything else. William opened a hole to that? But why? How? He'd taken a few halting steps toward it, but stopped, doubling over again. It looked like he was losing that internal struggle with the thing inside him. The moment Guess got within 10 feet of William, he looked up. His eyes were not William's eyes. Look out! William straightened and flung a hand out toward her. Guess stumbled over like she'd been punched in the stomach and flew backward at me. She hit the dirt, slid to a stop, and lay still. I backed away as William's gaze settled on me. No. Before I could flee, he reached a hand out, and it felt exactly like someone grabbed me around the throat. I couldn't even fight back. I lifted off the ground until just my toes were scraping across the dirt as I slid toward him. I clawed at my throat, but there was nothing there to pry away. Spots were swimming before my eyes by the time I reached him, and my lungs felt like they were going to burst. I wonder if he's just gonna fling her into the divide and then close it. Blood was rushing in my ears, but I faintly heard voices behind me. Shouts. Maybe Velos. As William's hand finally grabbed me and pulled me close, he did something. I felt the blast of energy, but I only heard the screams and groan of metal behind me. I didn't see what he did. But there was the sound of walls crumbling and everything went silent. He smiled as he pulled me closer, and through the haze I thought of that dream I'd had of him. You know, the one with the goo.
No.
Don't worry. After I swallow you, you'll be able to be a part of me forever. Just like he is.
I'm not into that kind of stuff, sir. Just for the record. I stared at him as everything around us crumbled, as the building just disintegrated, as the destruction spread outward and took everything with it. And somewhere in there I knew William was alone and crying. I don't know where I found the strength to wrap my arms around him. Those black eyes went wide with surprise, and his grip on me loosened enough for me to ignore the pain and pull him close. Guess had told me that if this thing got William, it would be the end. Of everything. And she was right. I knew she was right. But if it was all going to end anyway, at least I could say goodbye. I wished I could tell Spencer to run. To try to find a place to hide and stay safe. But if that was already a lost cause, I at least wanted to reach to one person I cared about. I leaned as close as I could and spoke in a hoarse, choked voice that was totally drowned out by the chaos around us. I'm sorry I couldn't help you. The darkness before me opened wide, and when it closed in this time, it felt almost like an embrace. I stepped into it, and knew nothing more. I 'gin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Alright. That was indeed a short ending. That was sad. The world is doomed, and William was consumed, and the Ancient consumed Nora as well. The world is now undone. Just like in that quote. Alright, well that was a very, very fast one. Only one more bad ending to go, guys. We can do this. Alright, I will see you there.